It's stirring stuff. And before we get down to business here in Kamaishi, we need to put the field itself into context. This is where the junior and high school used to sit in Kamaishi, washed away by the tsunami 8 years ago. And now, home of the Kamaishi Recovery Memorial Stadium. It's remarkable that we're even taking the field, but here we are for Rugby World Cup 2019. They love the code here in Kamaishi. They love it in Fiji. They'll be cheering on John McKee. And in Uruguay, it's Esteban Menes.
Maris?
Esteban Meneses, the boss of Uruguay. Can he conjure up some kind of an upset here this afternoon with his men, with Herman Kessler, the try-scoring hooker of Uruguay? And another look at how the Fijian side lines up.
Yes, as you said, a lot of changes, Sean, but a lot of fresh legs, and it has been a quick turnaround, and it was an extraordinary effort against the Wallabies for those 60 minutes. A few positional changes, but guys here jumping out of their skin. For a lot of them, obviously, it's the first touch of the World Cup rugby ball, and they'll be very excited. There may be some nerves. It is a big occasion. Both teams are well aware of the significance of this match.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay.
What I liked about the story of the schools on this side, Sean, was that the heroism of the older school, the high school, where kids were sent down to buddy up with the younger kids at the primary school. They knew they were going closer to the sea. They knew they were going into harm's way, but they went and buddied up and they took them up the hill.
As a result, 570 was saved, teachers and students. Remarkable. Pascal Gauzer out of France, our ref. Karachi City, arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for hosting us. Fiji v Uruguay, our next up game in the 2019 Rugby World Cup. It's Uruguay going to work in defence here and snapping it away from Fiji, but then losing the handle. As Fiji look at to work it away from inside their own 22.
Avantage over.
Right in the breeze here and into touch. I'm Sean Maloney, alongside me, former All Black Andrew Merton. Sideline is a two-time World Cup winner with New Zealand, also Melody Robinson. Am I right in saying, Mel, that breeze is running with the Fijians in this first half?
It absolutely is. It's diagonal across the field, so if you're kicking from that right corner, it will probably head left, so certainly favouring the Fijians.
So it is Herman Kessler to the middle. Good clean ball from Uruguay early on, and now they swing it off the hip. They can't hang on, and we'll go back to the spot where it was grassed, and it will be a Fijian feed to the scrum.
Good defence from both teams already. Fiji a little bit messy coming out of their 22. And here's the move here. You see Bergesi takes it up. Right wing Freitas just pops last minute, pops on his outside. Wasn't a bad ploy. Just got hit in that double tackle and losing control of the ball.
Nice work from the winger coming from the blind side, trying to put some extra numbers on that open side for Uruguay.
The Fijian scrum was put under all sorts of pressure by Australia on Saturday. No doubt there will have been some tinkering done by coach John McKee in the lead up to this clash.
Yeah, they were under pressure, Sean, but they did hold, and they came out of that game statistically on 100% of their set piece, which is a pretty good effort, not traditionally known as the best set piece in the game, especially when competing with the so-called Tier 1 nations. So it was a big step up from Fiji, and they will be looking to dominate here today rather than hold.
Crutch. 5.
So it's the new number 9, Henry Sinaloli, who will feed. It's a nice strike from Mesu Dolokoto. And here they are, working up the park now. Senloli rips it wide. And as they did last Saturday night, they looked to inject their wingers early on. That time around it was Filippo Nkosi, but we're coming back for the infringement at the scrum.
I'm actually surprised they went to the right-hand side there, Mertz, because the defence from Uruguay was numbered up. I'd love them to see and give the opportunity to Randrandra one-on-one on their left-hand side.
As touched on by Andrew Mertens, Fiji perfect with their line-out work in game one. To the front, and it's going to fall okay here for Sinaloli. In comes Niki Ngonova. This time around, Sinaloli comes in and he'll come back short side for Dolokoto. Dolokoto, good work over the ball from Uruguay. Very nearly forcing the steal. Good tip on ball there from Batuni Yarawa. In behind, the kick comes from Matavesi, but it's read well. And now the big tackle as well goes in on Arata for Uruguay. With Arata taking the kick, that forces Bachesi into scrum half. Again, good defence from Fiji. Arata looking for options to clear this part of the field. Arata taking his time, and now box kicking into the breeze. It holds up. Down for Vedekani. He's a thrill machine, Vedekani, and he shuffles it straight away and found Nkosi, who swings back to the right. Now pops beautifully to Voka. Senaloli, good hands wide from Nakarawa, who starts at 8 this afternoon instead of in the second row. They go in a touch out wide. Uruguay want to go on quick here. Uruguay, dangerous stuff. Over to Vidaseca, one of their best players for the last little bit. Freitas takes the return ball. Sanganetti. Arata. Bachesi, good ball out in front. The odd drop looking like it's going to be knocked on. Hack ahead play from Uruguay.
Not one vintage.
Maui. In the midfield. Matavesi. Vedekani. Vedekani delays the switch here for Niki Ngonova.
Off feet now!
Just over halfway. Maui at the back. Matavesi. Nakarawa. Wide they go here. Good build up, good feet as well. It was Shaleva Tumbula who was loose in contact. Uruguay come away with it, and they kick back downtown. Vedekani. Sees some room in behind. Vedekani, good skills. Gets it up over the top, looking for a runner out wide. Connects now with Voka. Moses Voka, excellent work from Vedekani. Uruguay look to be off their feet. Play on's the call. They make the seal now. The penalty comes, but a look there, a little glimpse. Andrew Mertens at the skills of Alavaretti. Vedekani.
Yes, they're just
play the ball.
Something smouldering away, aren't they? And just the slightest spark is going to ignite everything. And that time it was Vedekani, as it is so often. A beautiful little chip kick. Hardly even touched it. Slightly ahead. 3 steps later, he had it back in his hand, and another great step. And a long ball out to Voka. You see it here. Watch this. He only just touches it lightly off the boot.
Come on.
Beautiful. Fiji's dangerous and right up in there. 22 now, Mel, sorry.
Yes, right. I've written next to his name. Brilliant, dangerous, creative, and he showed it right there, didn't he? It's fantastic to see him with the ball in hand, and fantastic to see Fiji running the ball.
They keep it tight now. They swing short side, and here comes the try for Mesu Dolokoto.
Very slick move from the Fijians off lineouts. as you said, as we mentioned before, 100% line-outs against Australia. What that does is give you confidence that it's working well. There are so many moving parts, and on this occasion there were even more because they've flipped around the front. Nakarawa, I think it was, who comes around here. He goes just a little tip pass, and Dolokoto in the corner. Great start for Fiji.
Lovely start indeed. I loved it how the captain, Wangani and Barutu, did the fake jump at the front, moved out, and it gave a bit of space and doubt. And it came to the defensive line out, and then that beautiful move around the front. For you kids watching at home, that is how you do a move at the front of the line out.
In steps Josh Maravesi. Takes over the kicking duties with Ben Volavola on the bench. Maravesi, and the breeze starts at left and keeps sending that direction as well. So Fiji go up by 5 inside the first 10. And, well, Andrew Mertens, I know we're on the northeast coast of Japan, but we could just as easily be in Nandi or Lautoka in Fiji. Very similar, the mountains dwarfing the sea.
Yeah, conditions aren't alien here for Fiji today, and they have plenty of support too. A lot of noise there for the try, and it was right in front of the whole bunch of school kids down that end. Awesome.
Then it goes to Vedakani. Able to shift to Randrandra. Didn't he do some damage in his first World Cup on Saturday? Semi Randrandra, no doubt. Maravesi will be looking to connect with him a whole lot more as this game goes on. Speaking of, Seniloli away for Dolokoto, the try scorer. Pops it wide, but it's knocked on there by Nkosi.
No, vintage of God.
And forces Kessler to tidy up for Uruguay. Bekesi floats it long. Into the line comes his fullback Nieres.
Avantage over for local. Avantage over. In.
Going to see plenty of ball in play this afternoon, no doubt about that. Both sides happy to put it through the hands early on. Fiji will be chasing the 4-try bonus point to keep their playoff hopes alive in Japan. That can't work from Fiji. They'll lose their feet in the process though, and
no hands.
Uruguay punch it short side through the captain, Gamanara. Here's a box kick from Arata. Good work as well. With a rush up D there from the Jesse.
You're offside. Because you're in the area of the ruck, 1 meter, you're offside. Offside because the ball is run. On the
some
tackle, 1
acoustics
meter.
here in the Kamishi Recovery Memorial Stadium, Andrew Mertens. Under no doubt what was wrong there for Uruguay.
No, it's good to include the entire crowd in the proceedings. A little bit of difficulty from Uruguay just getting enough go forward and having to resort to the kick. Bit of a shame, that's energy sapping that play, 8-9 phases, tiring your forwards out and then only to kick it. I think they're probably a little bit better at the start of this game while the Fijian legs are fresh to maybe kick a little bit more, although in saying that, you do not want to give these flying Fijians any extra chances.
Dolokoto, brought down by Wangani Barutu. Nakarawa. Just the one offload at the weekend. Maybe looking at a few more to that as Nkosi steps out of one, now lays it back well. Uruguay don't commit at the breakdown. Number up well in defence. Randrandra. Randrandra. Oh, he tried for Vadakani on the outside and was very nearly intercepted there by Fleitas. He couldn't hang on, and it'll be a Fijian scrum.
Semi Randrandra will be thankful there. Fijians trying to spread it wide, give their big man out in the 13 jersey a one-on-one. But that was a fantastic tackle by one Manuel Kat. And very close to a try opportunity for Nicolas Freitas.
Difficult too for Uruguay to defend because so many of those Fijian forwards are out there in the back line. In the end, they're pushing the pass just behind them, getting them to the X factors in the back line.
Crutch.
pretty much, you couldn't say that that intercept was nearly a try saver, because they certainly had an extra man out wide, Fiji.
Sinalolik lets his forwards do their thing at scrum time. Nakarawa traps at the base, now comes away with it. Iona Nakarawa, 2018 European Rugby Player of the Year. That's all breeze at the back of Fiji, down to Freitas. Freitas dodging some white jerseys initially and eventually put down by Dolakoto and Ngonova. Rata. Will box kick. And there are 4 runners back here for Fiji. Nakarawa takes it, looks up, sets off himself. Oh, what about the pass from Nakarawa to Vedekani? He's put down just short of halfway. A little sample entree from Leona Nakarawa in terms of what he can do with his offloading. Still with Fiji. Here he comes again, out the back it goes. And in goes Kessler. He offloads himself and finds Arata. Arata desperate for help. Arata trying to get away from Fiji. The little man goes through. Santiago Arata in Uruguay.
Well, what an amazing effort from one of the smallest men on the pitch. He scored against them last time, Arata, and he's done it again, and he had a lot of work to do. Great effort from Kessler. German Kessler come flying through. He came flying through and got onto the loose ball, and it pops up, and Arata just worked away. The Fijians chasing after him desperately. Here's the ball going to ground. There's Kessler. In he goes. Body on the line. And Arata, a quick step. Wow, there's 1, 2. And Luneva came through with a big flying hand to try and pull him down, but couldn't manage it.
You can't take that moment away from Santiago Arata. Great moment. He's only 174 centimetres, as you mentioned, one of the smallest guys on the pitch. And of course, Fiji, they missed 41 tackles against Australia. It's one area they've got to work on.
They went close moments ago, Uruguay, with Freitas almost bringing in that intercept, and second time round, Kessler combining with Arata for the match levelling try. The conversion good, 7-5 is the score. Uruguay are up.
But my choice, you can't move.
Yes, and it's a stark warning to Fiji that although they might be getting some reasonably easy yards, relatively easy yards, and getting the passes away, when they push it too much and make mistakes, Los Teros are going to pounce.
Josh Matavesi deep with a restart down to his opposing number. Grabbed by Bacchesi. Sends it up the park for Vedekani. Already Vedekani looking for some help with support runners, and it's just ripped away from Vedekani. Uruguay take it off through Diana.
No, there's no call. You lose the control of the ball.
Now some problems for Uruguay. Mistakes though, saying no hurt Fiji.
Yes, and as I mentioned before, I don't think it's complacency from Fiji, but I just think they're getting a little bit too easy in terms of making yards, getting their arms free, popping off to players, and they get excited by that, as anybody would. And I think they've just got to keep a lid on it a little bit, work their way up the field, earn the right to chuck those passes around. At the same time, you don't want to stifle their natural play. But I think after the initial onslaught, Uruguay is fighting their way back in at the moment and getting some confidence.
Fine. Set.
Sinaloli, penalty, Fiji.
Engine, one blue, engine. One blue engine.
So Ironi, should say Sangarete, he's the one that got penalised there from Uruguay. Interesting with this Uruguay forward pack, and particularly their props and hookers, they all play different positions. Lucy, tight head hooker, they're very versatile. They really pride themselves on their scrum.
Uruguay stay. Fiji on the line, on the line.
1 metre inside the Uruguayan 22. Fiji looking to reclaim the lead here. They go to the back, it's taken nicely, and now they put their set-piece play to work again. Dolakoto gets through. Famawi connects with Voka. 6 away, lovely passing from the Fijian big men. Sinloli looking for options, gets it to Nakarawa. Somehow that comes back for Fiji, and it's with Saulo. Sinloli looking wide right now. Fiji. Ngonova. He goes to the open side, away from his wing. Anavesi, that bounces up, it's okay for Varambua. And now, 5 away is Ratuva. Friendly advantage Fiji. Banging in tight is Ratunigarawa. They pick and go, they're close, they're 1 away Fiji.
Back.
Looking to strike back immediately, they bury their way towards the line, still short. Uruguay hanging on for the moment. Over the top, Maui. A repeat effort. I think we've got to try. I think it might be Ronnie Maui. It's good for Fiji.
Yeah, muscle from the Fijian forward pack. Hammering away at the line. It seemed to be only a matter of time. At the same moment, though, Uruguay appealing to the referee. They think that Maui might have been on his knees towards the end, as we see the last bit of it here. Here he goes, he has 1 go. And may have a point, you know, he was held, he went to ground with his knee. The try stands, and a good one for Fiji, and they take the lead again.
I guess the key to it too is that they were pushing the passes like hot potato, just all over the place. And then suddenly the forwards took over there, did the pick and goes. And Maui came up with the points, but it was a collective effort from the pack.
This time around, Matavesi reads the breeze beautifully. The conversion is on the score sheet. Fiji reclaim the lead, 12th place 7th.
Just taking some time to restart. Dolakoto getting a little bit of attention. It's been very involved. Second line out in a row on attack that they've played a little willy away movement, this time round the open side.
Vedekani takes the restart and is rushed into the kick. Now Ngonova has to tidy up after Vedekani was charged down, and it's great hustle it is from Uruguay.
Yeah, they're very scrappy, aren't they? You know what you're going to get with an a South American team. As you see the charge down here, but you're going to get them fighting for everything. They're enterprising, they're courageous, they'll scrap on the ground for everything, and they will keep coming at you. The South American teams, they've got chop tackles, and they now have a great opportunity to reply again.
Come on, Kessler to the front. Around the corner now, Kessler. Kessler at the back is a try-scoring phenom, the number 2 for Uruguay this time around. Fiji put it down, they've done so illegally, so penalty advantage here for Uruguay. Los Terros. Through Dotti.
No vintage, no call. I'm back to penalty here. 5.
So they get another go. 10 away.
Take out the player.
I think they'll go same again, won't they? I think they'll go line out, Mel, set up again.
Well, they've done well in that area so far. You'd look to go for that driving maul again, put Fiji under pressure. This time, though, if they do a driving maul, it'd be good to keep the patience, just keep the ball at the back, try not to disintegrate.
Herman Kessler. 6 test tries with Los Terros. Round he comes. Kessler going himself. They send him towards the Fijian defence. And get 5 and under from the line here. 1 away, getting close. Good go for Uruguay. It's tit for tat early on, and the try goes to Manuel Diana.
Yeah, what a response from Uruguay, and I didn't think they were going to get there. Incredibly good work. You can put that down to Lendekar, number 5, who came around the corner. They moved the ball quickly, much like the Fijians. That's the Willie away. And Kessler puts his head down, has a go. Just struggling a little bit physically at times, and I thought, oh, it's going to slow up. But there he goes, Lendekar, and he fights, just gets that extra metre. Gave them some impetus, and the pick and go. What a try.
Well, the good news is that they're really putting on a show for the fans, both these sides. It is absolutely fantastic to watch. And, of course, that beautiful variation at the back of the line out. Good kick, too.
It's a seesawing opening quarter. And a look at the closing stages, the power of Uruguay.
Yes, and it was a very quick pick and go. The ball came up off the ground. There was an assistant player pushing through, driving through quickly, keeping the Fijians on the back foot. As I say, the extra metre that Manuel Lendekar was able to eke out of his run was absolutely crucial.
Fiji pinging it down to Buchesi. He sends it back into the wind, and it will be a Fijian line-out throw around about 38 out. So a charge down kick and a loose carry have cost Fiji 2 tries. Uruguay really capitalising on the Fijian errors. Fiji out in front for Vedakani. Nikossi on the far side. Now joined by Ngonova. And got him brought to. Stopped in his tracks. Matavesi. Under up. Matavesi again. Nakagawa. Can he get it over the top? Yes, he can. Now they swing into action down the far side. Fiji with some good build-up here. That was Voka. 25 out. Matavesi has to check the pass for Nakagawa.
No! Off it now! Off it.
Matavesi pulling the strings. Vedakani holds it up here. Nikossi, oh no, it's out the back, and it is into touch. Uruguayan line-out throw.
They looked very promising at the end, didn't they, Fiji? And I think Buchesi has gone down hurt in that tackle. He made the last tackle, and it was a brave one too. And it needed to be made. You see it here, goes in beautifully. Manages to knock the arm and the ball. Big Randrandra looming outside there. Putting their bodies on the line for sure, Uruguay. And I think Fiji at times are just struggling with a little bit of unorthodoxy about the Uruguayan defence. They're getting their arms free, but I think it's difficult for them to get into good running line positions. Some Uruguayan defenders are coming out of line, just making it hard, disrupting, aren't they, Mel?
Yeah, their line speed is excellent as well. They're really getting up together in a line. A few of them are running out, as you say.
Wait!
Kessler to the middle. In the target of Lendekar.
Leave it!
200 centimetre lock, 22-year-old from Uruguay. They maul for a little. And now another box kick from Arata. Some confusion as well there from Fiji, and that's going to work out a treat for Diana. He says, if you don't want it, Fiji, we'll have a dip, no problems. And here's Juan Manuel Gamanara. Scrappy ball across the face of Buchesi. Good strike and go from Mieres. And some room across to the left for Silva. Silva keeps it alive. Uruguay. Oh, Uruguay. Through one. Manuel cuts.
Wow, what a finish. What a play from Uruguay. The creativity the support play, some big hits from the Fijians, but Uruguay just kept on coming. Los Teros are never tackled. They're keeping the ball alive. And that ball went very, very high. I noticed the kick from Arata that got lost there. Fiji's looking into the sun. And it came about as high as our commentary position. But this is towards the end of it. Big hit there from Fiji, but they kept the ball alive. Good hands from Uruguay. And here it is again, the support play. Great run on the inside and an excellent effort getting arms free as well. A great try to cut.
Oh, you can't take anything away from Uruguay at this point. Look at the faces on their fans, are absolutely ecstatic. So's the team. Poor defence really from Fiji. Fatumbua coming in, missing the tackle, and Randrandra coming in too. But honestly, this is a game.
Up steps Berchesi. Berchesi, his country's all-time point scorer, and he just strikes that one through the uprights. 21-12, Uruguay lead Fiji.
His record point scorer Felipe Berchesi for Uruguay, and he edges close to that 300 mark. 293 now, as we see the end of it. And a big hit, but arms free in the support play. And Uruguay at the moment playing on adrenaline and playing on confidence, and it's fantastic to see.
Andrew Mertens, 3 mistakes from Fiji, and it's cost them 3 5-pointers.
Yes, you don't have to do much, and especially when a team's as motivated and as animated and activated as Uruguay is today.
Terrific grab up high from Lane Dakar. Fiji though, running towards the touchline. That forces Dion to go in and set off infield. Arata.
Wait.
He's been happy just to slow it down the base of the ruck and then box kick on the other side. Told to use it. Vadakani. Vadakani. Full tilt back into the defence. Easy pickings for Los Teros. Uruguay muscling up again on the short side. Loose out the back. Sinloli has to tap across the deck to Matavesi. Does likewise up off the ground. Found his prop. Tunigalawa. Sinloli. Matavesi. Randrandra. Gets over the top there of Civetta. So no real punch forward there from Fiji, and they go to the boot, and it's a net result. It's a net result after the bobble there from Berchesi.
Yes, he'll be disappointed in himself there, not least because Fiji spent so much effort and so many phases there. Just his eyes coming up to look at the defensive line advancing. But Fiji having spent so much effort and then resorting to the kick because they just couldn't break through. Uruguay standing up, making their tackles. They scramble, they hustle. And at the moment, they're forcing Fiji into mistakes. In saying that, they'll turn around and score a try here, just like that probably.
And the other thing about Fiji in particular, Ratu Ni Harawara for Fiji, the number 5, his body position's been quite high, and that's given the physical dominance in the tackle to the Uruguay defenders, so they just have to get a little bit lower.
Use now!
Told to use it here, Nakarawa. So Sinloli bounces out to the right. Matavesi connecting with Ugonova. Vadakani in the line, shovels across to Nkosi. Nkosi slaps on some feet, slaps on a bump as well. Sinieres back in reverse at pace. Voka tackled himself into the ground in the opening game with Fiji. Randrandra comes in line, holds up here for Vatundua, looking for the switch to Dolkoto. Dolkoto cuts in field, cleans up. Good work from the opening try scorer for Fiji. Bearing his nose through there, Ratuva. Matavesi. Oh, it's low. The ball's low, and it's knocked on by the captain, Wangani Mbrotu. Blue scrums a call.
6-1.
Yes, and I know I'm going to be accused of sounding like I'd written off the Uruguayans right from the start, as we see Nakosi out the far side showing his power.
Now we're next scrum now.
But I think when you look at the catchment that Uruguay has, they've got vastly fewer numbers than most other nations at this World Cup.
Stay up,
They've only turned professional recently.
Long bind.
They're up against it, and they're really doing well.
I'll give the exact number, 6,000 active
Good picture.
players in Uruguay. The only all-amateur team at the 2015 Rugby World Cup. Haven't they come on, Mertz?
Yeah, it's awesome. And you know, like I say, I wasn't writing them off necessarily, but it just looked like from the start,
Set.
Fiji was gaining those early metres. And I think Fiji themselves have just got a little bit ahead of themselves. As Mel said, they're running high.
1-2.
They were trying to get offloads, which were successful in the first 5 or 10 minutes, but
We are
since
early
then,
engaged.
Uruguay has
both,
regrouped.
Both front row early engaged.
And they're making some really committed tackles, Mel. It's not my specialty subject.
Yeah, absolutely. They are. They're low, they're gripping their arms, they're driving with their shoulders. You know, this Fiji team, as a
And your
15,
side?
has got 70 kilograms on Uruguay, so that's just fantastic that you can't notice that in the physicality. I don't know what kind of half-time coach John McKee is, but if I was him, I'd be giving a few rockets of a few of these guys.
The words there from two-time World Cup winner with New Zealand, Melody Robinson, and Andrea Mertens. World Cup
rush and you
finalists with
push.
the All Blacks. I'm Sean Maloney. Great to have you with us for our call from Kamaishi. So much emotion around this game this afternoon as we return to the home of the Kamaishi Sea Waves rugby team, which was devastated by the tsunami of 2011. And the locals have come out and loved every second of this battle between Uruguay and Fiji. And Uruguay up and looking to go further ahead. Back. Ngonova has to tidy it up for Fiji. Did he get there first? Is it play on? We need to have another look.
Yeah.
Have lost Teros, stolen one here from Fiji.
My own field decision, TMO. Just my own field decision. It's no try. Just check the grounding, who's grounding the first.
Okay.
So on field is no try. As you
Already,
heard,
here it comes.
don't think on this occasion it'll get overturned, but gee, they've got some fight, the Uruguayans. Villaseca, as you see, flying through here. Don't think he's grounded that over the line, but was it grounded at all? That's the question they'll be asking themselves, and if not, in this first clash, was this a knock-on as well? What a great chase from Villaseca, Sean.
First is touched by the blue.
Well, you highlighted him as a man to watch this afternoon.
Yeah.
What's the call here from the refereeing crew?
Just give us a second or two. We're coming back to you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Pascal Gouzer is the man in charge this afternoon. I thought there might have been a hand there.
I think it's a knock-on from Villaseca, isn't it, Mel?
I'd agree with you too. Looks like a knock-on before the line.
Pascal,
Yeah.
we're coming back to you.
Yeah.
Righto. Okay, so what we have is a knock-on by blue.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it is a scrum.
Scrum
to white.
5 meters to Fiji.
Correct.
Okay? Thank you. We are on the same page. Thank you. No try. Scrum by blue.
Back and forth
Okay.
there, knocked on by Uruguay, and it will be a Fijian feed to the scrum, but nervous moments again for those here
Take the
in
heat, no
Kamaishi cheering
pre-engagement.
on
Take the heat.
Fiji. Those of you back on the islands as well in the Pacific. Ulapanaka, good afternoon to you. And of course to those of you dialed in Uruguay, wherever you are around the world. It has been a thriller
Wait. Crutch.
between Fiji and Uruguay.
Bye.
53 gone.
Set. Stay. Use now.
Fiji happy to try and juice the penalty. Nakarawa with it, track the back, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, another strong scrum from Fiji. They've been good in the line out too. Their problem has been just a little bit of a benign
down
attack
here,
at times.
Penalty.
Odd moments of brilliance that we know they have, but a lot of other times just shuffling the ball. And from those mistakes, Uruguay pouncing. One before, Villaseca just towed it ahead, and Ngoneva came straight past him. And I think he thought Villaseca would have given up the chase. but he didn't. There's just so much pluck, so much fight in these men in what I believe is Cupric blue, Sean. I don't think it's cobalt. Cupric to me sounds appropriate.
I quite like turquoise, actually.
10, please.
Yeah, they're on the line. They're on the line.
Space,
You're going to make me get the colour chart out, Andrew Mertens and Melody Robinson. I'm happy to defer. And it's with the men in the blue jerseys after stealing it at line-out time. Kessler slips it away in contact there for Gamanara. Held up there by Villaseca, who does his thing in Major League Rugby in the USA. Good straight running this time round from Civetta. Uruguay are rolling here and spinning away through Mieres. But Jesse goes into traffic. Silva. Rodrigo Silva. Dotti.
No, white.
10 away, great build-up this from Uruguay, looking for room right. Villaseca keeps it alive. Delayed ball there for Mieres.
No,
Not a whole lot happening on
Release
this
now,
near
14.
side. So Arata goes in and steadies. Pops it up there for Diana. Sanguinetti. Sending it back short side again. There are only little men on this near side, so they need to put footwork on to try and trouble. That's exactly what Jesse does. The captain again, Gamanara. 10 phases, the longest run of play from either side in this first half. Into the 22. Arata. He's run out of people to pass to. They're all in the breakdown. Looks right, looks left. Now they get numbers. How much for a drop goal? Sangetti. We'll find out in just a second. Andrew Mertens. Arata. Wide from Cat. Steering back is Silva. Oh, we're just going to park it there for a moment. Looks like one of the Uruguayan field men is laid out on the field.
Head-to-head
It
on
was
the
an
tackle.
unlucky head clash, Sean, just at the back of that ruck. Might have been off Nakarawa.
Nothing, just a head-to-head.
Or Wangani Burotu, one of those big bricks.
How are you doing, mate?
Yeah,
It was a fairly nasty-looking clash.
it's
Yeah,
a clean
maybe
accident
just on the top
tackle.
of his eye
Head-to-head.
socket, I think that's where the contact happened. Quite benign, I think it was, oh, there it is. Yeah. Well, he won't think it's benign because he'll be in a bit of pain right at this point.
Oof. Ouch. And good presence of mind. Pascal Gauzier to blow that up straight away. Going back to that passage of play, Sean, I felt sure they were running out of numbers, Uruguay. And I felt sure, given they're from a football background like all South Americans, they all can kick 1 through 15, drop kicks, place kicks, both feet, everything. And I was pretty sure there was going to be a little 3-point taken there as we look at Cut's stats from the game. Already had a big impact on this first half.
Tackle over the shoulder, 5. Is here? Marius, we have a location, please. Where is?
Crown Prince Fumihito looking on.
Yes.
Very good for Japanese royalty and the government to be involved here today. They have put a lot of effort, obviously, into rebuilding this entire part of the country.
Captain.
Well, it's not lost on anyone the significance of having this game here this afternoon, is it, Andrew Mertens? I mean, there's just so much emotion around it. Rugby has been for so long such a big deal in this part of Japan. The Kamaishi Sea Waves, all national champions from 79 through 85. They love it up here.
Absolutely, and the more you delve into it, the more you realise how many foreigners have come over and been involved in the rugby here, from Scott Fardy and Peter Alatini, who were noted as being part of the rebuild effort here immediately post-tsunami. Sean Cuttins from Canterbury, Salala Mapasu has been here as well, and all loved their time here.
Well, you mentioned Scott Fardy. I actually messaged him this morning. I said, how's it all going over in Ireland? He says, no, mate, I'm not over there at the moment. I've come back to Kamaishi to help get in on the remembrance and celebration around this weekend. So former Wallaby Scott Fardy is here as well in Kamaishi. No doubt he'll be enjoying this as Uruguay, one of the emerging nations of the 2019 Rugby World Cup, look to knock it out to a 12-point lead. It's on its way. It's on its way, and it's on the board. That's not a typo. Uruguay lead Fiji 24 points to 12. 2 to play in the first half. Good take again from Manuel Landekar from the restart.
Pull up team white, advantage penalty. 11, pull up some more on the leg.
Penalty advantage, and now it will be taken white by Uruguay. What have you got for us from the sideline at Melody Robinson?
Well, Inciarte Toma has come on as a replacement there for the HR for cut, so he'll go and get his head checked, and they'll decide whether or not he can come back on the field. Utility back, of course, and it's his first World Cup for Toma.
Always fantastic to see. Oh, as they mistouch again, Sean.
Vedakani grabbed it and sent it to Matavesi. Randrandra has to go low. Now explodes into life down the right-hand side and exploding over the top is Nkosi, but he drops it on the other side of the hurdle.
They're getting a bit frustrated with themselves, Fiji, but what a moment, as you said before, Thomas Inciarte, who's come on in 23, first World Cup, and suddenly he's got big Fijians running at them. And Uruguay, just so much fight. You probably get sick of me saying that, or anything, to be perfectly honest, but you just can't stress how much above themselves this score is at the moment, and I mean that with the greatest respect. Good on them.
Oh yeah, World 19 playing the 9th in the world, who is Fiji.
Good.
Certainly been fantastic. Haven't done a whole lot wrong. They keep the ball well possession. They're just putting the pressure on Fiji, who really need to dull down the risk factor and up their discipline.
Set.
Uruguay up by 12. The halftime gong has gone at the Kamaishi Recovery Memorial Stadium, and Uruguay want to keep going. Now they just catch the chalk, and Pascal Yozier pulls the shutters down on the first half. We have shot leaders in Kamaishi. Uruguay are up by 12 over Fiji. Andrew Mertens, where do you begin? Where do you begin with that first 40 minutes of play?
Well, just so excited for Uruguay. They're really playing well. They're making good tackles. They started out looking a little bit shell-shocked as the Fijians came storming at them in that first 5 to 10 minutes, but they've regrouped and they're in the hunt. They're scrambling well. They're picking up the loose ball. They're forcing errors from Fiji, and they're capitalising, and they quite deserve it at the moment.
Well, if you're just tuning in, we can give you a halftime score that reads Uruguay 24, Fiji 12 as the great Sarevi watches on. He won't like this, Andrew Mertens, the stats against the Fijians.
No, that's right, and it's hard to work out there where they're losing it, but they're just capitalising Uruguay on everything every mistake that Fiji's making. They're both making mistakes, but Uruguay just seems to score points off it every time. It's pretty even, although Fiji has made a lot more carries, and as a consequence, they're making a lot more mistakes. Territory in favour slightly of Uruguay, but possession with the Fijians, they're just not using it as well as they think they should be.
Let's take you back to the very beginning. We had the flyover, the emotion around this game in this part of the world. Fiji were first on the board through Dolakoto after the slickly move at the set piece. But then it was back and forth from Uruguay.
Yes, absolutely. Fiji got the ball again, but couldn't control it. Kessler dives through, and it was Arata who just fought all the way, 30 metres. But look at all the Fijian jerseys around him, and he just kept going and gets over, and the crowd was absolutely delighted. It was just an incredible effort. And at that stage, Uruguay still up 7-5. Fiji came back into it, though, muscling away through the forwards. Hint, perhaps, of a tackle there and a second lunge, but a crucial try for Ronnie Maui going across. The Fijians retook the lead, but next, slick little line-out move themselves from the Uruguayans. A couple of phases later, as you see, Lane Dekar charging on ahead, and a pick and go, and Uruguay was over and back into the lead.
Manuel Diana was the man in the middle of that pile of bodies who got through and got it down. And there's a big touring party here in support of the Uruguayans. And, well, this was the best moment of the first half in terms of tries scored. This was a touch of magic from Los Terros.
Yes, absolutely. And they stayed in support here. And Rodrigo Silva hasn't had a lot of ball today, and he got hit in a big tackle there. But just getting his arms free enough to pop it up for Juan Manuel Cut. An excellent support line. And Uruguay fully deserving their third try of the match, and at that stage, out to a 9-point lead.
Well, there were some good head-to-heads to look forward to in this matchup, and we picked out a couple of wingers to get us moving as we have a look at the trademark of this part of the world, the Kamishi flags, and it was Reneki Ngonova one side, Filippo Nkosi the other, and he had some decent input, some decent output in the first turn.
Yes, he got a bit more ball than his opposite, Filippo Nkosi, and he tried his best to make use of it. The Argentinians were swarming across. It wasn't very often that he got the ball in space, but he certainly made it count with some big hits, although in saying that, he was susceptible, like all the Fijians, to lose the ball in the tackle a couple of times. Silva, his opposite, didn't get the ball much, but when he did, he made it count just like this. He took a big hit, got the arm free, and the try was the result for Uruguay. Terrific balance from Rodrigo Silva on the left wing, and he's had to make a lot more tackles than his opposite number. Got a good rip as well, and then always keen to work. Didn't quite go his way with the ball, but he's been very, very strong in the tackle.
There is a look at the numbers either side of the ledger for both Filippo Nkosi and Rodrigo Silva.
You see flipping those numbers over. Nkosi beating 5 defenders, making 2 tackles. By contrast, Silva without the possession, making 5 tackles and only able to beat 2 defenders, but they were crucial defenders beaten.
Well, I guess calm is what you need to ask for if you're John McKee. They were just a touch loose in that first 40, Fiji. Passes weren't sticking. They weren't finding the targets either. On the flip side, these guys were execution A1.
Yes, they were, and I think I mentioned their unorthodox defence throughout the first half, where they send flying runners up out of the line, and it did have the effect of unsettling the Fijian attack. I suspect that they will be knuckling down Fiji when they've got the ball in hand, looking for those opportunities. They were able to identify them a couple of times with some gaps, and I think they'll be looking for that further in the second 40.
Welcome back to the Kamaishi Recovery Memorial Stadium. It has been what an incredible afternoon so far, certainly in terms of how the scoreline reads, where it is those men left of screen, Uruguay leading Fiji 24 points to 12. They made every host a winner when presented with opportunities from Fiji, who were loose in the first term. There were a couple of issues for Uruguay's Manuel cut in the lead up to half time. He had a HIA, and the good news is he's back on the field for Uruguay. Scored one of the best tries of the opening week of the 2019 Rugby World Cup to help give his side the lead, and they haven't relented since. So Uruguay looking here to overturn a blowout loss that they suffered at the hands of Fiji last year. They got rolled 68 points to 17. It would be a huge swing in favour of the South Americans. Okay, we are ready to go again. Fiji desperate for tries, desperate for the win to stay alive in the hunt for playoff rugby in Japan. They need it now.
Blue, white.
Moving and grooving again in Kamaishi. Fiji v Uruguay, the second half. Off and running. Fiji sending it down there to Uruguay's Gaston Mieres, who carries up past the 22.
Guys, in.
Arata, the base of the ruck, looking for a kicker and eventually doing it all himself. Uruguay running with the breeze here, and now they sweep in after the knock-on from Vaidakani.
Knock-on advantage.
They were forced to do it tough in the first half into a stiff breeze, and now they have the benefit of riding it, and they are up by 12. Read well there at the back by Mieres. Brings it back in field to Bachesi. Ends it straight up the middle for Rundra. Three Uruguayan defenders sweep in and put him down. Seniloli, Matavesi. No look, chip on there from Nakarawa. Seniloli. Coming a touch more direct now, the Fijian runners. Matavesi probing. Jarred there by Lane Dakar. Away, Fiji going now through Ngonova. Now they're hot stepping their way at the park with a pass. Misses the target. And Uruguay get out of jail big time. I'm Sean Maloney alongside me for the call this matchup between Fiji and Uruguay. Melody Robinson and Andrew Mertens. That was a gimme gone missing.
Yes, just continued what happened in that latter part of the first half, isn't it? Good attack from Fiji and just a mistake at the end, but you know, incredible resilience from Uruguay getting back to recover that ball.
Dolokoto finds a Nakarawa. Dolokoto comes around the corner. Now with Voka. Another knock on, another mistake from Fiji.
Yes, but they are looking better with their attack, and I think, as you said before, they'll go a lot more direct, and I think that will mean they won't go in looking for the offloads. If the offloads are on, I think, Mel, they'll still give them, but they won't go into that collision line looking for the offload before they get into the hit.
And absolutely, and their first option won't be to go wide like they were in the first half as well. They're just bringing it back a little bit more, dialing it back. And you saw in the changing room, it was the players leading the discussion in the Fiji changing room. And also with the no changes for the second half, it shows that the coaching staff really believe in this 15.
Good weight from Fiji, but Uruguay hang in there and come away with it through Diana.
Stay.
Dotti helps set up the screen for Arata to pass, but Jesse past the 22, and Fiji will get another go at it.
Yeah, still hot on attack, and the other aspect of leaving the same 15 on, Mel, of course, is they know they haven't produced what's expected of them. Give them a chance to rectify that 10 or 15 minutes of really well-directed fury, and then you're off.
And let's be honest, 12 changes from game one to this one. Of course, it has to be a bit of time to get those combinations.
Slap back off the top there by Ratuva. Manavesi has to settle for Fiji. Seniloli up to Ratunigarawa. Nakarawa Always looking likely with ball in hand. Matavesi, Randra.
Good.
Hold high by Uruguay. Got the advantage, and away they come now. Fiji, it's Nakosi into the 22. Seniloli gets it to Maui. Seniloli, Randra, steaming onto it, checked off the ball.
One penalty here, second here, tackle without the ball.
And over we go to the mark.
12 without the ball here.
Well, maybe
One
not
penalty
the
here, second here.
maybe not the result Uruguay wanted in terms of conceding the penalty, but if Semi gets his hands on that, then it's 5 the other side, most likely 7, because he was steaming onto it. Semi Randra.
And he is tackle without the ball.
Yes, and this is not a given either. It looks pretty close to the post, but you know, we have seen that when these World Cup balls are kicked badly, they go straight off the tee really badly.
Can you explain that to us a little more?
Well, we've just seen a number of, I think, good kickers in the last week, well, certainly in the first few games of the tournament. Just when it's off, it goes really off, and it goes straight from the tee, and it can go quite wide of the post. So, you know, this is not an easy kick. As I say, it looks straightforward. So, you know, Uruguay's come away here. There's a possibility that Fiji will get 3. Even if they do get the 3, worst case scenario for Uruguay, they now come back down and kick the ball deep off the kickoff into Fiji territory.
Words there of World Cup finalist with the All Blacks, Andrew Mertens, played in 2 World Cups with New Zealand. So it's Matavesi into the teeth of, you can see the flags behind coming back towards him, and as predicted by Andrew Mertens, it starts left, it stays left, and the score remains Uruguay 24, Fiji 12.
Love to take it, Sean, but I did stop short of predicting it. If I had, he would have got it. But yeah, it just certainly shows that you need to be very, very careful. You've got to strike a really perfect balance between kind of stroking the ball, but also giving it that dynamic hit. And I think that was a little bit too much of a stroke from Matavesi.
It's a shallow 22 restart from Uruguay. They don't capitalise on that wind behind them, and it's taken forward there by Nakosi. Voka over to Matavesi. Vedakani. Had 1 or 2 really decent touches in the first term, and in amongst it, it's been hard going for Alavaredi Vedakani. Got him brought through. Up his workload, Nakosi. Matavesi. Randra. Tackled well there by Siveta. Vedakani. Uruguay called out of that, and now the penalty will go the way of Fiji. I thought he may have got a good shot on it there, Freitas. Perhaps unlucky, and now Fiji string the passes together. They are oh so close through Ratuva. Numbers wide right, they won't require them. It is Api Ratuniarawa who makes it a 7-point game kick to come.
Yeah, the 2 big locks from Fiji combining. Initially a run from Tavita Ratuva, and he made good ground right up towards the line. Fiji recycling. There's a palpable, conscientious effort being made here by Fiji to not throw silly passes. Here's Ratuva, and from the very next phase, the strength of Api Ratuniarawa. And over he goes. Well played, Fiji. Clinical finish.
Yes, they've taken away their offload game, haven't they? And in the end, too many phases. Uruguay ran out of defensive players, powered over the big lock. You can see the supporters raising the flags. Happy to see Fiji back into form in the second half. A bit of a celebration in Korea.
Far more generous part of the field for Matavesi to try and reduce the deficit for his side. Maybe he's Josh Matavesi, who pulls that one away to the right. He can't believe it. He's overcompensated the other way, and a converted try. Difference is how it stays.
be playing in his head a little bit, Andrew Mertens. He'll start missing those kicks.
Yes, and also his team, because they know how Uruguay came back into that first half, and I'm sure they're fully expecting the men in blue to do the same in this 40.
Manavesi carries into the shoulders there of Lane Dakar. Seniloli. Vidakani. Just trying to work himself into this match. Ball comes out the back for Fiji. Manavesi tips it on to the try scorer, the most recent try scorer, who tries to do similar, and it's loose. It's forward, and it's Los Teros who will feed the scrum.
Two clear examples of how Fiji haven't approached this half. They've been running with the ball in hand, but not trying to look for the offloads. Twice in a row just now, we've seen them run into the contact, thinking of making that offload before they've actually controlled that collision. And as a result, there was almost one mistake. Straight afterwards, there was the mistake, and now Uruguay have a fantastic attacking opportunity.
Also got a change here in the front row. Juan Rombes comes on. You can see him there in the number 18 jersey.
Looks like tight head. He's come on for Diego Arbello, has he?
He's the heaviest bloke on the park. Juan Pedro. Rombes.
Feet too far. Your feet are too far, both.
Just wonder how long it'll be till John McKee starts to bring some of these frontline players in off the pine and inject them into this game, Andrew Mertens, because they have to jag the bonus point win to stay in the hunt in their pool here in Japan.
Yes, and I wonder if Ben Volavola might come on soon in 10. Not so much about the kicking from Matavesi, and it's a hard one. You don't want to pull a kicker off just after he's missed it, because you need them to be confident, the poor brittle things that they are. But I think Volavola might add a bit more structure to the attack.
Uruguay.
Play on, play on.
Chelsea shuffled across the park to set up this midfield option for them. Diana. But he's 8th carry for the afternoon, Diana. Nothing happening out that way, and it's now the error that comes from Uruguay, and Fiji will get the scrum.
$15 wide.
Yeah, just didn't do much to take out that defensive line of Fiji, not committing any tacklers. Oh, now I didn't say this just because I saw him warming up, because I didn't, but he hasn't actually come on for Matavesi, has he, Mel?
No, he's come on for Alaverete Vaitokane, who's made a couple of mistakes, I guess, so far. And that means Matavesi will slip back probably to fullback. It looks like that's where he's going now.
Got a lot of space to work with, this Fijian backline all across the field. Of course, Uruguay have to drop a couple of players back to cover that backfield for the kick. So it leaves 3 defenders in the front line, and Fiji has their entire backline at disposal.
Can they find their mojo here, Fiji? Penalty advantage here will help. Now they put their quick man to play. Randrandra keeps alive, and now it's over with Makosi. Rolls his way over the top of the cover fence there. But look at Uruguay up to it and snapping it away from Fiji. Makosi goes in from the side. Look, there's still no okay's the call. Turnover good for Fiji. They conceded, now they grab it back. Manavesi. Volavola. Good weight on the pass across for Randrandra. Randrandra dummying, holding it up for... It's forwards down the left-hand side. Seniloli. Back to Nigarawa. Seniloli. That one across the face of Fiji, and they go without now. Uruguay looking to counter, kicking up the park is Villaseca. Volavola is going to have to scoot back and tidy up for Fiji. He dummies, there's no one there for him. Volavola just holds the ball up there, and back goes Makosi. What can they get moving here, Fiji? That one is loose. Playing on the ground might be the call there. against Fiji. The feet were already in touch from...
It's no call.
Nikosi, not on
no
the
call,
call.
but you are off feet and
Uruguay
you play the ball.
to keep rumbling. And now the penalty
off feet, you play
comes.
the ball.
As
They just keep
suggested.
going. Yes, quite right. And you know what? The other night, I think it was
No
England
first and no
Tonga.
feet, he plays
We
the ball, he
saw
catch the ball.
a pass or the ball going backwards and an offside called. Now, Volavola held the ball up for a long time there before throwing it backwards to a retiring player. So I just wondered there if that might have been a penalty too. Anyway, Uruguay comes up with the penalty and they're going to have a shot. This is a difficult one, but Berchesi has been striking the ball very well today. Just about count the bruises in front of you there, Mel, can you?
Yeah, body's looking very sore, limping to the back there. See a little bit more movement on the bench from Fiji as well.
He did very well just before. Gaton Mieres, he's a little bit sore, but he made a cracking tackle, got up and stole the ball as well. The veteran.
Berchesi closing in on 300 test points. He is Uruguay's all-time leading point scorer. He has the breeze to work with here. We'll look to start it out to the right. Berchesi. And it won't have the legs. Stop short, and Fiji are going to look to counter 10 away from their own line. Fiji. Uruguay scramble in defence. Maui. Driven on there by Ratuva. Ngoni Rotu. Similoli. Dolokoto, Volavola. On to Nakarawa.
I tackle 6 blue advantage.
Got advantage here for Fiji. Malavesi. So the two playmakers combining, Malavesi and Volavola for Fiji. Dolokoto bouncing out of a couple.
Feet now.
Gets to halfway. This all began with the missed penalty attempt from Berchesi from Uruguay. Fiji on they come. No look from Volavola. Ngoni Rotu put down by stop shot of Diana. Ratuva. Uruguay with some sting in these tackles. They rush up outside in. That creates some space, and Fiji can't handle. And Uruguay, it was a touch of real rugby smart on the far side from Uruguay. They were cooked for numbers. They rushed up and said, not this time, Fiji.
Yes, quite right. Fiji thought they saw space out there, tried desperately to get it there, but good reading of the play from Nicolas Freitas on the right wing for Uruguay.
See, the two Umachia brothers have come on for Uruguay. So no doubt they'll make a little bit of a difference there. And also Matawalu, Nicola Matawalu, 30-year-old, comes on for Fiji.
Just got to put this scoreline into context. The last time these sides met, Fiji won 68 points to 7. Melody Robinson, I know you've done the numbers. Uruguay have never rolled Fiji, but this is something else.
It absolutely is, and that is what, I guess, one of the great things about rugby now in 2019 with the development that Uruguay has got with their rugby centre. The fact that they are mainly professional players now, a lot of them playing in the US too, just shows you how close the competition is starting to get.
Good day at the office
11
for
wide.
halfback Santiago Rata from Uruguay. He's been replaced by Auti Normaichea, who is childhood friends with his inside half partner, Felipe Berchesi. Went to school together, so they've obviously played a lot of rugby together, the two.
I trust. Thanks.
Playing in his 50th game this afternoon, German Kessler, the number 2 for Uruguay. And he's been industrious as well, the man with the ball in his hands. Well done to you, German Kessler. Brought down by Lendekar. Talented youngster for Uruguay. Now they go the inside channel here. Uruguay, up the middle they come, desperate for support. It's Silva.
Tackle!
Stunning run from Silva. Berchesi. Chopped hard, has two Fijians burying him, and now they lose their feet. Fiji, they're called out of it. Uruguay. Yatas. Omachia pops it up off the deck. Good recycling from Uruguay. Civetta, touch isolated. Now the supporter rise for his side. They go the direct route through the middle. Uruguay getting closer. Up by 7, looking for more. Lindekar. 5 out. Nothing happening on that short side. They keep it alive well, though. No penalty to work with, no advantage. Good defence, Fiji. Juan Pedro Rombis. In tight they come through Ormachia. He had a good little dart in close, the reserve scrum half. The captain, Manuel Gamanara, settles it one off. They can shift it right. For a moment they had numbers and space. Now Fiji number up well. They're going to have to keep it close here, and that's what they do through the captain. Manuel Gamanara. All energy in a small frame. But Jesse on the wraparound goes Freitas. Fiji read well, and Ratuni Yarawa gets a big shot on. But Jesse goes through the line initially, then loses his feet. Over the top is Maui looking for the turnover. Penalty Uruguay.
Straight off feet. Straight off feet, straight off feet.
So the phase play brings the penalty. And now what to do, Andrew Mertens?
Straight off feet.
Well, I think they'll have another go at goal. They were a long way out on that last one, but 3 points will be important here. And it'll also give them a chance just to suck in a few deep breaths. Yes, they're having a go, and some really good work in many of those movements from Nicolas Freitas, who came off his right wing. He provided the initial thrust with a scything run.
No.
And he's been bounced around like a pinball at times by some of those big hits.
Yeah, well, maintaining possession, keeping the ball, that is Uruguay's bread and butter, really, isn't it? And while they're not making a lot of metres except for the little half break there, what they're doing is just playing very patient rugby and just waiting for Fiji to give away that penalty, because they know they've got a great kicker there who's just nailing these Belchesi.
Felipe Bergessi. 16 in from the touchline. Looking for a buffer for Uruguay. We're up by 7. Make it an even 10 for Uruguay.
Fantastic kick from Felipe Bergessi. Every time you think he's down and out, like many of his teammates have been knocked around, just stands back up, provides the energy. And that'll give them great heart, Uruguay, to maintain that buffer. 10 points they have on Fiji still.
Wait. Set compete. Time on.
What a difference 5 days make at the Rugby World Cup. Through 60 on Saturday, Fiji led Australia by 9. They now find themselves down by 10 against Uruguay. Still a lot of time left, though, for Fiji to keep their quarter-final hopes alive in Japan. Uruguay slowing it down at the base of the ruck there, and they come through, and it's going to run into touch. Who's handed to come off? Fijian hand is the call. And it's a Uruguay line-out throw.
Yeah, Josh Matavesi got up there nice in the air, competed for the ball, but it just slipped down, didn't it?
Calm down. Numbers. 5.
Kessler. It's slapped back at the back to Bergessi. Bergessi, just slides under a loose arm there from Voka. Lindekar.
5.
Doing his thing in French rugby now, week to week. Lindekar. They had numbers on this side, but can't clear it. It's Villaseca who's put down.
Ball is in.
Uruguay qualifying for the 2019
out,
Rugby
the
World
ball
Cup
is out.
after down in Canada. This one needs to find real estate. It does. But it's into touch, and it'll be a Fijian line-out throw, so unable to get their attacking patterns working on that occasion.
Yeah, they just want to make sure they keep Fiji going backwards when they have the ball, Uruguay. They've been able to call in a few reinforcements as Fiji go quickly again.
I was going to say, that wasn't straight. That was almost at 45, the work from the front from Dolakoto.
Line out or scrum? Line out? You tell me line out.
And the pressure, just forcing Melody Robinson some uncharacteristic errors from Fiji.
I agree, and they had their halfback there, Nicola Matawalu, at the front. Nobody was competing. It was a very easy pass to get him, and unfortunately, it wasn't straight down the middle line.
Please, you must stay on the mark.
Interesting call here. Uruguay didn't want the scrum.
Not when you've got a target like the man at the front. Now it's ripped away by Fiji. Excellent work from Matawalu. He isolated the man at the back there and snapped it away. Fiji with numbers to Burn wide left. They get it over the top. It's risky stuff. Still with Fiji. Cleared out the back now. Ngorova. Vola. Flat ball there for Kampisi Ma'afu. Good pressure at the breakdown though from Uruguay to slow that up for Fiji. Vola. There to Ratuva. Landekar goes high on him.
No!
Good work. Nakarawa standing in the tackle. Matawalu. Vola shapes inside. Now looks to get it to the out, but Uruguay read well. They've got to reload on the right-hand side. Straightening his Batuya.
On the chest. Play on.
No mucking around now from Fijian coach John McKee. These big names are on the park, looking to work their way back into the contest. Wangani Barotu, the captain. 30 away, Vola. Deep to Matavesi. Rounded up by Bachesi. Matawalu. Vola. Lovely ball, creates the angle out to the left, but now Uruguay slide, and they slide hard. Vatumbua, though, beats the first half tackle. Vatumbua rolling his way towards the line. Popped up there by Ma'afu. Desperate for points here, Fiji. Down by 10, only 15 remain. Up here for Tunigaroa. Close through the captain. Doms.
No!
Matawalu trying to align his runners wide.
Stay on.
And while that takes place, his forward pack do their thing in close.
Please, 21, back.
Nakarawa, there it is, in his hands. Nakarawa holding his feet. Numbers, short side Fiji. Matawalu, that is a key try for Fiji. The margin is back to 5.
Yeah, some real purpose from Fiji in the last 5 minutes. They've got down the end. They were not going to leave without scoring points. And Matawalu is the end of that, and a good chance taken as well. Here's this great long ball out wide, and a good run from Vatumbua. I wondered here, is this going to be another occasion where he throws the pass? Not Vatumbua himself, but Fiji, and dropped the ball, but he didn't. He held on. Great decision, and here's the end of it now with Matawalu, and Uruguay just could not plug every gap.
That's the Fiji we like, isn't it? More disciplined, a sprinkling of the wide play, and then you've got the forwards coming in and doing the work as well, and then instinctive work there from Matawalu.
Well, they can still use their speed and skill, Mel, can't they? But just without getting ahead of themselves. And hasn't the game changed? I think Matavesi is going better from fullback, and the game has changed since Vola came on to add some shape.
Yeah, he's made a big difference, hasn't he?
Volovola, who landed 11 points in his World Cup opener in Japan against Australia. His first nudge at the sticks this afternoon. Josh Manavesi just couldn't get it to go where he wanted, so he hands the kicking tee over to Benny Volovola. The perfect angle to see if this sails through in Kamaishi. Volovola tugs it left.
4. Blue 4.
It's a miss. It's another miss for
And
a Fijian
13,
kicker.
13. 4, 13.
And 5 points separates these two teams.
I don't want, please.
Yes, we're set for a great finish, aren't we? 12 minutes to go. Fiji looking for a converted try to get back ahead. Uruguay has responded almost every time today that Fiji has scored. They've come back within the next couple of minutes and put points on the board. Can they do it again?
Coming on the field from Uruguay, number 4, Ignacio. Number 19, Uruguay.
Ignacio Ndotti off the park. Bachesi hammers this one deep into the Fijian 22. Mbatia up to the 22. Can they up the gears here? Late Fiji. Across the park they come. Nakarawa delaying the ball there. Mbatia slipped up for Randra, who is into touch. If you wanted the postcard from this game, that's it. Bachesi giving away around about 30 kilos to the steam train. That man, Semi Randra, holds his ground and knocks the giant into touch.
Just tenacious, isn't it? I've been nauseatingly repetitive about using fight today, haven't I? But there's just so much courage, so much fight in Uruguay, and I think your man Herman Kessler, the hooker, was across to help Bachesi as quickly as he could.
Over the top, Los Terros go. Slipped away there, in contact from Uruguay, and they lose possession. They turn it back to Ngorova and Fiji, who kicks ahead,
21.
and it's out on the fly.
21. You know? You have to stop, huh?
Yeah, not a bad variation from Ngorova. Unfortunately, the execution a little awry. You know, on that left wing, you really want to be using your outside foot to chip the ball ahead. And he's gone to the inside foot, his favoured leg, the right foot, and out it goes, straight into touch.
White!
And a bit of an opportunity squandered for Fiji again.
Kessler. Lindekar.
Please, no! Leave it!
Slowing the tempo, Uruguay. They led at the break.
No! Leave it! That's one!
Can they hang on here
No, keep
against
your
a
mind
team
now.
that many had framed up to go deep, real deep here in Japan? Uruguay. Go to the narrow side through Nicolas Freitas. Lamana. Bachesi, happy to go to the air and get some pressure on from the chasing pack. Randra runs a screen there, and it's brought in by Manavesi.
Not in the ball.
For Fiji.
Not in the ball.
Tight initially through
Now, Steven.
Tex Thavumbati. Volovola poised and releasing runners out to the left. It was Ngonova who in turn sent it all the way to the fringes. It's loose back in field, and Uruguay come through and dive on it. Deep here, nothing happening, so they straighten through Echeverri, one of the stars of the Uruguayan Sevens team. Philippe Echeverri, he is a live wire. Good hands from Kessler in test number 50. The clock keeps ticking. Fiji getting a little desperate here. They need the win. They need the bonus point win. to stay alive for the playoffs. In behind they go, looking for the ugly bounce there. Matavesi pops up, he was injured and somehow springs to life and helps secure possession for each team. He got help from Vola.
Use it now! You touch the ball, Peñarol!
Randra looking short side. Gee, they have mustered up well on Semi Randra this afternoon, the Uruguayans. Just sucking some defenders in, Uruguay. Need to go right. Now they can head back. And lend a hand to Echeverri. Felipe Echeverri goes to the skies. Randra collapses with the ball. Echeverri off his feet, diving on him. Lucky not to give away a penalty there. Echeverri. And now with Uruguay, somehow the men in blue come away with it. Here's Juan Pedro Rombis. Omachia. Fiji losing their feet at the breakdown, so it'll stay with Uruguay. Taking the pressure off is Silva. The winger goes in and does some tough stuff in and around the breakdown. It's going to fall out for Uruguay. They slide in again. Desperation from Uruguay. Silva stealing cheeky meters after throwing himself at the feet of the Fijians there to hang on to the ball. Uruguay. Tight. And just turning the clock down here, winding it back. Civetta.
No!
Penalty Uruguay. Penalty Uruguay. And a chance to put the margin out beyond a converted try. We have got one of the all-time World Cup upsets in the offing here in Kamaishi.
There's a golden opportunity here for Felipe Vercesi to put the icing on the cake and get outside that 7-point buffer. The more this game's gone on, the more you just stand incredulous and admiring of this huge effort. It wouldn't be their first World Cup win, Uruguay. They beat Georgia in 07 and Spain in 1999. But this would be a boil over. Fiji, there's not a lot more they can do right at the moment. Their fate may not be in their own hands. Mel, yes or no?
5 minutes, Gus, Marius.
I think it would be a Fijian miracle if they can pull it back from this. I know they'll be disappointed. They've shown moments, beautiful moments of flair. And like you said, this Uruguay team, the bravery, the courage, the guts, these are things you can't measure in statistics.
Still plenty of time. Mel Robinson for Fiji, but Jesse fades it back. It's a power fade. It's on the board. Uruguay are up. Uruguay are up by 8. We have 5 to go in Kamaishi.
Now we'll see some real urgency from the Fijians. Here they go, a quick kickoff and straight into it.
Up swords, Villaseca. It's a clean take.
Use it now! What is out?
Now field position from Omachia. Matavesi. Manawalu. Huge numbers, wide left for Fiji. Out the back, the pass goes. He finds a turf, which means Ngonova has to sort of hold up the run. Uruguay over the top looking for the turnover, won't get it. Every second vital for Uruguay as they look to hold on. They've played Fiji 3 times. They have never defeated them. Mbutia, he comes into the line and gets through and keeps it alive for Matawalu. Matavesi has nothing in the tank. He's all busted. Matavesi can't hang on. He's not on the call. It is. And now it's thumped away through Echeverri. He'll want touch, won't get it. We're coming back for the scrum.
There's the pressure, no
It was
corner here.
brave there from Matavesi. He's been injured in this second half. He just couldn't hang in there with Matawalu. And Uruguay will feed the scrum.
It came from here, Mbotia making the break. In it went, and where were they? Matawalu. He could have stopped and shouted out, where was his support? Where were they? Matavesi had to step up. He had nothing left. He's already been hobbling around in the backfield. He got up there before his teammates. How did that happen? And Uruguay comes out of it again.
Yeah, I stop. I stop the time.
Well, this just
19.
the ultimate check for the
19,
Nations Cup that Uruguay hosted this year. They were up against Russia, Namibia, and a development Argentinian side, but we've seen the positive effects of that cup on this World Cup already. Namibia have been good. Russia pushed Japan on night one, and now Uruguay are on the cusp of something very special on a very special day in Kamaishi.
Yes, well, this will absolutely make their 4 years. You know, that's all they were coming into this World Cup looking for, a victory. Whoever it was against wouldn't matter. The better the team it was against, then obviously the more happy they'll be, but they'll be absolutely over the moon. Great for them to qualify early for this World Cup and be able to, off the back of that, sign 15 professional centralised contracts. And we're seeing the benefit now as they receive another sanction against Fiji.
Please, stop.
How do you clock manage? How do you game manage now, Andrew Mertens? You've done it before to win World Cup games. What's going through their mind?
Let's go.
Well, I think they're going to go for touch here, but I wouldn't mind seeing them just hold on to the ball. They could probably soak up a little bit of time. The more it goes on, the more desperate Fiji gets. And we've seen today they haven't been clinical. They haven't been accurate when they've pushed things. Now, the more desperate they get, the more they're going to push passes. And Uruguay, by kicking into touch, has just given away the line out. I'd love to see them, for their sake, hold on to that ball for a few phases.
They've just got to kill another 2 minutes plus change from the clock, Uruguay.
And it's probably easy for me to say, Sean, isn't it? Just hold on to the ball. They're out on their feet, most likely.
Vunga Koto is a man who needs to get it started for Fiji. It's clean at the front.
19.
Over to Nakarawa. Vola. The set piece play brings Randra in the line, who throws the late switch to Matavesi, who has just not got the legs working. He's all busted up. It was a brave charge from Matavesi. Uruguay. Tackling has never been more important for Los Teros in the history, the proud history of this country in Test rugby. Mbatia straightening, going back to the midfield, trying to bust his way through, dropped by Dotti. Marawalu. Another minute 30 should almost do it for them. They say Fijians go away through Nakarawa. There are 15 blue jerseys on the park. It feels like there are 300. They are everywhere. Closer we get. Manawalu. Vola. Deep from Mbatia. 40 away Fiji. 90 seconds left. Vola. Bungakoto put down. Short side. Manawalu. Eventually rounded up. They're 25 away. Penalty advantage here for Fiji. Uruguay should just let them have it now. The call goes, the mark is made.
Now stop.
Pascal Gauzer finds the mark.
Now give me the ball.
Surely it's too much of an ask for Fiji. The clock keeps rolling.
Yeah, they've got to score off one of these first two phases, don't they, Fiji, to give time to quickly drop the conversion and get a kick-off. But I think Uruguay's even lifted their intensity.
Here we go. Uruguay, they just need to muscle up in defence. It'll go down as one of the bravest victories in the history of the Rugby World Cup. Nakarawa clears it there for Vungakoto. Vungakoto trying to rumble his way over the top as he lost possession there. Vungakoto slides it back. 20 seconds remain. In comes Randra. There they are again, the blue jerseys. 15 seconds remain. They just need to hang in their penalty advantage. Fiji. Vola is close. Is he there? Has he been driven over? What's the call? What is the call?
And I have no idea about the grounding. For me, on-field decision is no try. I have a check is grounding.
In any case,
if no try, I'm back to the penalty.
In any case, it won't matter in terms of the result. And you just wait till you see the outpouring from Uruguay.
All right, on-field decision.
Yeah.
No try.
On the other side.
We're having a look for you.
I think he's moving sign off on the try, the potential try first for Vola, I think was a man.
I'll get back to you.
Just seeing if he got his pressure
Right,
on the
here we go.
ball. He certainly seemed to have his arms close enough, if not over the try line. And has he rolled that ball onto the line there? Suspicion it might have just touched the chalk. As you say, it's not irrelevant, it's irrelevant in the course of this result. And I think we've been witness to something extremely special here. But
Pascal,
about to get the decision.
so the player grounds the ball short and then loses possession of the ball.
Okay.
So it's not grounded. Stick to your on-field decision.
Okay, no try. I'm back to the penalty for player, Uruguay player. Take the arm of the number 21 of Fiji. Okay.
Correct. That's on the
No
flag.
try. I'm back penalty. It's not
Just
try
not enough
because
there
he's
to give
running
that try to
short,
Benny
and after
Volavola.
he loses control of the ball, I'm back to the
Agonisingly
penalty.
close. They still get the penalty, Fiji. They know it's over. They do want to score a try. They'll nothing to stop them regrouping and beating Wales. So they want to get in for that bonus
Yeah, we
point.
will.
No, I'm just saying, when I go down, he's sticking down. He's back already.
It might not be up there with Japan rolling South Africa in 2015, but it's not far off. The world-ranked 19th side, who lost to Fiji 68 points to 7 in their last hit-out, have swung it back in their favour. Uruguay.
And there's a huge huge group of fans in blue just on our left down here. They're on the starting blocks. They're ready. Some of the shirts have come off already. They're ready to go.
Set.
Matawalu looking up, looking for Volavola. They'll keep it tight here. The Fijian forwards edging closer.
Use now. Use now.
Slowly, Matawalu short side. Matawalu going himself. Has he got his second, or have Uruguay done it again and held it up? Try goes on the board. Just waiting for sign-off here, waiting for the closing whistle from Pascal Gauzer, because that will give us the moment that Uruguay have worked so hard for, not just today, but across the last 4 years. They were smoked by Fiji at the 2015 Rugby World Cup. 4 years later, wow, wow, wow. Here's a look at the final moments from Matawalu.
Yes, let's take nothing away from the try. Good strength and vision from Nicola Matawalu, but he's showing no satisfaction, of course, whatsoever. He knows what's about to happen. They're going to hear Spanish-denominated songs booming out across the ground and large celebrations about to erupt. What an extraordinary result.
What about a way to cap match 50 in national colours? Herman Kessler. A day he will never forget. 50 caps and a win against Fiji. Volavola. Volavola, 5 in to potentially make it a 1-point loss for his team. Volavola sends it on its way, and this time round it misses. Here it is! Here is the moment! Uruguay, incredible! Let's get the party started for the men in blue. Full time, Uruguay 30, Fiji 27. It's the biggest upset